looking to fight their way through this grand final to secure the $200,000 first place prize, the biggest in mobile gaming. But you even see both these teams, they are pretty sure of each other. Both are confident heading into the match.
I know Matt touched on it, but yesterday, Korea had a disappointing performance for them. And it can't be too disappointing because they're here in the final. But when we got back to our hotel at what, 3 a.m.?
3:30, I believe we got back after that long day.
Every single Korea team member is sitting in the library around a table plotting their next move.
And on top of this, guys, you might have noticed we are not doing a coin flip. So being the perk of coming through the winner's bracket,
yes,
Thailand will receive side selection for the first 2 games of the best of 7, which is very important because really, red side, they only get 1 ban.
And that is very important for, I think, the entire Korean side, because like Thailand were saying, they feel they can exploit that limited hero pool that Korea has played thus far. However, I kind of disagree with them. We have several characters that we've been looking for.
Natalia.
Yeah, to come out from the Korean side ever since they were shown off, and shown off very powerfully once or twice, that we just flat out have not seen here on stage.
Well, let's go ahead and get into our pick and ban for game 1. Thailand on your blue side, Korea on the red side. Thailand actually starting things off with the Omen ban. Obviously for Korea, they're forced to ban out the Superman on red side.
The Omen is a very, very good ban against Korea. Thailand, as we saw yesterday, they're very, very good in team fights. They like to prioritize control characters. That means characters that can win them team fights just because they have stuns, knockups, or pulls in the case of one favorite boy called Crack.
Thailand. Second ban coming on through. Going to be the Zenial, so not going to have that global pressure available. Going on that split lane for Sun to then rejoin the fights with the shielding. So not going to have that available, but still, I know we talk about limited hero pools, DJ. But, you know, we haven't seen some of them pop up yet. We've done our research, and one that hasn't made it through for Korea, and I want to see Sun play it. I hope he brings it out during this final, is the Tara.
Yeah, the Tara is so good for him. The reason that Zenial is so powerful is because Sun likes to build tanky play, separated from the rest of the team, as Korea loves to do, have these roaming groups and occasionally roaming individuals, constantly finding pressure, coordinated, but separated while being coordinated.
Now, I kind of like this from Thailand. This is a bit of a respect ban, because Hawk just had a beautiful performance on the Flash.
Yeah, and Memarks as well has been playing quite well on the Flash, so that is definitely taking away from Thailand. If they could lock in that Flash on themselves, they're not willing to take that gamble. They're not willing to be in a situation where it could go to either team. Hawk, left to his own devices, typically tends to go for more static mages because he knows he has the team that can set him up for major picks.
Now, for Korea, unfortunately, they're having to ban out the Aram, and this leaves up the Lindis immediately available for Thailand for the first pick.
You do not give Lindis over to Korea for a very good reason. That very good reason is named Rush.
Yeah, Rush during the quarterfinals. I believe he had somewhere in the realm of a 22 KDA.
Oh my God.
And I believe 2 of those games were on the Lindis. He can still play the Violet if needed, but guess what? Has made it through the ban for, it's been a while since we've seen a teamie.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The teamie coming through will be locked in by J-Jack, I assume. I would be astonished if nobody took advantage of that major slip-up.
This is actually something Thailand did during the group stage. They actually messed up their bans on blue side and let the teamie through. So is this them being confident enough to play into the teamie?
Well, one of the things with Thailand is they do tend to very obviously counter-strap their opponents. We saw them intentionally let some characters through versus Korea, the Aram yesterday. The reason they let the Aram through was because they felt J-Jack would have to pick it up, and they felt they could play versus an Aram. So it may very well be the same calculus. You know that J-Jack has to lock in the teamie first pick, and this allows you to play further into the draft, knowing what your opponent's draft basically has to be.
And this is already a great setup for Rush, no matter what he picks. It's going to be likely the Violet oftentimes is what we see coming out of the jungle, especially with the Chagnar, and now that teamie for the Resurrection. Meanwhile, though, for Thailand, already picking up the front line, going for this a bit of dive with the Malak, and also picking up the Crixie for Memarks.
And that's very good for them as well. They've already got a ton of damage, and for a team that's so good at team fights, seeing them build such a good team fight composition is terrifying. I'd like to talk, though, about what Korea has so far, because assuming that Sharknar is not being played on J-Jack, it's going to be run on one of their two split lanes, Sun or Chaser. We've seen Sun not look great when he's required to stay with the team because that's simply not how he plays at his best. And Chaser, in that last set and the first set of the other day, looked so good himself, I feel it would be sad to see him forced onto a more defensive character.
Well, one of them is going to have to play. Chaser in the last series showed up. This is what allowed them to get into this grand final. Kilgroth, though, that could be something for Sun that we haven't seen too often. It's going to get locked in.
Chaser and Sun play interchangeably. So we don't yet know who's got which character, but that is, of course, the crux of the Korean strategy, this constant pressure across the map, oftentimes coming from their two side lane players, Chaser and Sun.
And on top of that, like we highlighted, Violet getting locked in for Rush, so going to have a lot of tower damage and have a lot of safety for the team. But speaking of safety for Thailand, this Alice has made it through all the way to the last pick.
Yeah, and that's not something we would have seen when we came into the World Cup. Priorities have shifted. The Alice isn't as effective versus this Korea composition because they have a Sharknar and a Kilgroth, both of which negate control abilities, and thus will be able to dive through the Hissy Fit. But it is still a very lethal combo, particularly for Thailand, who excel so much at setting up and shutting down team fights.
Yeah, Alice going to get locked in along with the Irie. And that one's a little bit concerning, too, because
it's coming through!
Oh, no. This has been the secret of Korea. They pulled this out twice already. And for Hawk, would be a nice addition. Really, they have no AoE. That or the Liliana. We haven't seen his Liliana for quite a while.
I really like the Natalia. Whenever we see it, it just starts one-shotting people at about the halfway point.
But most of the time, we see it paired with the Grak when it actually has success. And with that off the table, I feel like there isn't a setup to help allow for that Wombo combo we've seen before.
Yeah, this is an entire mage pool open. Of them, Vera is not considered meta. If this is locked in, Korea are doing something exciting again.
They have hovered this a couple times. And I know we talked during the North American series, sometimes, you know, they like to have fun. Okay. So the Scud getting locked in.
So that's no mage currently over on the Korean side. Arguably, you have decent magic damage coming through from Sharknar. But to be frank, I think that's a mistake.
Right now, they're pretty much putting all their cards on Rush and Sun to carry this into the later part of the game. But we saw yesterday, when Thailand hits the 10-minute mark, Korea can't go past the base. They can't push out anymore.
Sorry, I'm more perplexed than ever because it appears that Hawk, their mid player, is currently running the teamie, typically support.
You heard during the interview, they went back, looked at the VODs. They tried to analyze what would it take to beat Thailand. Is this the secret? Are you going to pull this out in game one? Try a new strategy and try and get Thailand, you know, off guard.
Okay, what I'm seeing, I don't have nearly as much IQ as the Korean team, but if I had to guess, I would say that what they want to do is play constantly aggressive on many of their characters right now. Teaming Sharknar, Scud, every single one of them, Kilgroth included, can play separate from a team. So what you can do with this is really get into the jungle of Team Thailand, pressure against 07, pressure against the players that need to get built up.
My only concern with that, though, TJ, is when Korea tried that strategy yesterday, Thailand were actually able to hold the guard when it came to the river. They were able to push back Korea during the invades, because that was one of their highlights. We often expected Thailand to fall purely based off Korea's jungle pressure, because they go in, invade onto 07, and he kind of looks weak when he's, you know, targeted early.
Yeah, when 007 has been shut down both throughout the boot camp and the group stage, it has been a pressure point where you can shut down Thailand. However, like you said, that did not work yesterday.
Well, you guys saw it, the trophy these players are going for. It's game one between Thailand and Korea.
And already Thailand are playing aggressive. Is this a repeat of yesterday? Are they going to be able to secure their jungle early?
Korea going to answer immediately back onto the same Golem. So a pretty safe start from both sides. Both not going to go in and collide up toward that topside river. That's actually something we saw, I believe, during game 2 of the series yesterday. Where it was a little bit of a change up here where Thailand actually invaded toward the top side of the map and then tried to collapse back onto Korea. Rush already coming in toward the mid lane, just going to look to try and soak up some of the minions. Maybe this is the idea. You're trying to funnel gold onto the Violet, allow him to farm up.
Look at J-Jack. He's just living there. So J-Jack constantly playing a roam position on this chart. will allow them to have a little bit more understanding of where Thailand are on the map. This gives Korea a little bit better map control. They can then secure their jungle and, like you say, maybe focus it on over to Rush. However, there are a lot of maybes in that analysis.
We'll just see. Hawk is staying right next to Rush right now while he's going through the jungle. And J-Jack's actually holding the wave when it hit mid lane on the last rotation, and they put it onto Rush. So it really feels like they're putting all their cards onto this late game Violet to help carry them or try and excel the gold so that she can start carrying earlier on into that mid game.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to say late game in terms of Korea, because when they excel, it's when they're winning at or around the 10-minute mark. If you don't see them in dominant control of the game by the 7-minute mark, they may lose then.
7 flicker on forward from Hawk. The stun's gonna land. Rush wants the kill, and first blood goes to Korea in the grand final.
J-Jack will narrowly get out, but Hawk wants more. He'll poke further forward, stun up with the Pooty Poots, and then retreat.
I'm liking this though. Hawk adjusting his play style, going to the support style of role, going for the roams. Let's take another look at 007, how he got caught.
You could see the stun from the team. He opens things up. J-Jack's there to take the brunt of the damage from the other 2 Thailand team members, and then the rest of the team, notably Rush's early damage, comes through.
This is something though that we did see in the series yesterday. Oftentimes Korea would find an early kill or two, get themselves 1,000 to a 2,000 gold lead, but then it would start to fall apart. So far on the right foot, but they got to keep the pressure going.
So notably what's different is that Korea seem to have full control of their own jungle, and that gives them the farm they were missing. This first major objective will be kind of decisive for me, because if Thailand pick it up, they undo everything that was just done and indeed take the lead. If Korea pick it up, they double down on that gold lead and have a good start to their famous momentum swings.
Something we actually saw during Game 3, I believe it was Thailand that had 7 Abyssal Dragons. Sure, it was a long game. We're able to get the pressure, get the momentum, and get the control on the map around this objective. You do see Korea trying to contest here. It's only J-Jack. He would have to steal it away, but 007 going to put down the punish. Thailand's able to even out the goal.
And that brings the gold closer to Thailand's favor, like you say. Here's the shock.
Is separated from his team. The damage comes on through, and the last auto comes on through. That's going to be the being a bro. Can Korea the fight, but look at the health bars, TJ. Hawk is so low. J-Jack is going away, but here comes Chaser on the scud. Memarks will pick up the kill onto Hawk, but they're able to trade on back. Here comes Sun all the way from the top lane, coming through the river. They're going to trade 1 for 1.
What on earth was that from Korea? That was one of the best adapted team fights I've ever seen from them, and they nearly get Memarks as well. Just shutting down the Lindis this early on is massive. They'll get a tower as well.
This is a key tower too, because once you've opened up the mid lane tower, especially on this map, because it's, you know, it's a small map, it doesn't take a whole lot of time to go for a roam. You open up all this map control for Korea, and that's what they excel at.
That's what Korea needs to, or rather Thailand needs to start worrying about from Korea, is the fact that now Korea has the beginnings of map control. They'll start doing this, bullying out even your small jungle camps. And that's why J-Jack switching over to this Chaknar is working a little bit better than I expected, because it gives them an extra man with a little bit of HP who can stand around in the jungle, roam aggressively.
And you can actually just have this trio go as a unit for these invades. If you're able to catch out this Linda, slow down 007 and his scaling, it shuts down Thailand. Still see him though playing safer toward the bot side of the map. Has fallen 2 times. He's been the main target of Korea, and I like the target selection coming out during the fights.
I have a game I play. It's called 7 Minutes. Are Korea winning or not? And if Korea don't speed up the pace, we're going to be playing the game where we go to the late game against Thailand, and that's not a very fun game if you're facing them.
Shock comes on through from Thailand, just looking to zone out the wave, also putting down the Alice ultimate, but Abyssal Dragon has spawned. Those are 2 big ultimates you would love to have during a team fight. 4v4, who's going to go for the fight? Looks like Korea wants to start things off. Rush onto the side, is able to get damage. He gets knocked up, has to flicker away. J-Jack now a little bit low himself. Cherry will fall. Hawk is able to pick up the kill. Rush wants the extra hit onto 007. He won't be able to find it, but Korea now have the man advantage. They could go for this Abyssal Dragon.
They should go for this Abyssal Dragon, but Korea are always a tower-focused team. They want this tower first and foremost. because it gives them map control with which they hope to pick up every next Abyssal Dragon.
And now that's a 3,000 gold lead for Korea. Going to add a little bit more with their first Abyssal Dragon of Game 1. So far, so good, it would seem, adapting to the playstyle of Thailand.
007 is playing aggro in response, and this is the right answer from Thailand. If they're starting to feel comfortable in their own jungle, do what worked yesterday. Gain control, start starving out the gold from team members like Rush, and maybe get your characters a little bit out ahead, particularly 007 and Memarks.
Yeah, for Rush, though, over toward the side, going to go ahead and pick up his Might Golem. Sun sitting right now at 4K. Been slowly farming up. He tried to go on down for a fight, wasn't able to find it in a but this kill graph is slowly going to start scaling, and that split lane pressure is usually key for Korea. Remix wants for the fight as he gets put on down by Moss as just a safety precaution. They do not want to go for a fight against Korea.
No, and I wouldn't either if I was this far behind from Thailand. They play best well past the 10-minute mark, and I said 7 minutes, are Korea winning? They're continuing to push forward and indeed threaten these towers.
That's now the third tower of the game. All outer towers are taken. Jack over toward the side, has to be careful. Is able to escape through the river, but that is going to be a man effectively down for Korea. That's going to force them to have to back off toward the top side.
Okay. Korea, in the past, a few times, maybe a few too many times, has been burned by Dark Slayer control. I don't want to call anything out, but watch how Thailand play around this Slayer and how Korea sometimes expose themselves to these major objectives getting stolen away simply because they put far more priority over on towers. For me, that's the most likely way Thailand gets back in this game.
Well, you even saw there, you had the Kilgoroth, you had the Violet. On top of that, the Teamy also around Darkslayer. They could have actually started it up, but Thailand was a little too far away, and even then they didn't have the vision, they didn't have the knowledge that was happening. Hawk has to be a little bit careful here. That's going to be Al's ultimate going on down. Being a bro is going to be popped. He's going to have the resurrection. Moonfall coming on through. Shock not going to fully commit. And 007 has to be careful. That was a lot of damage coming on down, even in a 3v4. Make it a 5v3. Chaser now onto the side flank. This is what we have prided him on for his scud play. Korea, though, going to back off.
Meanwhile, Sun is just chipping away in the top lane, and that's what he does. Thailand are playing a very dangerous game. Should even one of them fall, Korea will feel confident enough to get that Dark Slayer, the nail in the coffin.
This is starting to get a little bit scary, TJ, because you can see the damage that Rush can do, and just taking down Moss as it falls. Korea now starting to surge ahead over 7,000 gold at 8.5 minutes.
And Korea will get this pressure on every single lane. We said 10-minute mark is when Korea is their best AOV. We're nearing it now, and they're nearing the base.
Want to try and get onto this high ground tower. You can just see if Rush is able just to get one auto attack onto that tower, it hits almost half health. And this is different from what we saw during the series yesterday, TJ, because oftentimes Korea were able to find themselves some towers, they were able to find some kills, but the gold was still pretty close. This time they have really opened up their gold lead, and you can start to see them exerting the pressure.
And that's because of that Chugnon change-up. The fact that Korea had an extra jungle allowed them to constantly maintain their own line around the jungle river and never gave Thailand the chance to do what they did in the series yesterday, which was control the Korean jungle.
Yeah, and it was long series yesterday during our finals. You can see there Cherry was farming up a storm with the gold, 10.5K, but still has to go against Korea, which right now are pretty much sitting at that advantage here in game 1 of the grand final. Rush going to rotate on over 4 members of Korea going up toward the top side. Jack gets caught out. That's going to be the Being a Bro. Back for the resurrection. Memark's Moonfall is not going to be available. 4v5 in topside. Jack has to be careful. Meanwhile, though, bot lane, you still have Sun exerting pressure and stealing jungle.
We said, Thailand, did you intend to play against the Teamy? If they did, it was an error because it saved Korea so many times. I don't think they're going for Darkslayer. I think they're just poking, trying to force a commit from Thailand, but it does beg the question, you had the opportunity, you had the time there to pick up Slayer. Any of these times when Korea has managed to find 1 or 2 kills, they should have coupled it through to it. And frankly, the fact Korea are playing a little bit passive, playing a little bit more slow, is really starting to worry me.
Yeah, especially because you saw how much damage Rush was just doing there. He's actually 4K gold ahead of 007. He has about an item and a half on top of the opposing jungle. Honestly, Korea, they just got to play around Rush. They got to force these fights because I feel like they can.
I feel like they should be forcing these fights. Sun is doing so.
Yeah, you see Sun down there. Mix has to get out of there, but it's going to be not enough as he gets taken off down. Mimarks came on over to the side with the Moonfall, but it wasn't enough. Chaser up toward the top side, pushing in the minions. It's going to be a 5v4. Shock is just going to be laid down to clear out the way, but Cherry will fall. Rush will pick up the kill.
And now, Korea, this is where I start begging, please turn this into a Dark Slayer. I know you have Wave, and they're so tempted to go for it, but you have a Lindis against you as well as a Crixie. This is a very good clear.
They're just going to go for the dive, TJ. Mimarks going down extremely low. Chaser picked up the kill. Minions start to fall on through, and the grand final is going to start off with a victory for Korea.
Beautifully done. They didn't need my advice. They were just going straight for the game, and I underestimated Russia's tower damage, as I think did Thailand.
You see Thailand there, well, shell-shocked after sweeping Korea yesterday during the final. Korea, you see morale, long meeting overnight, paid off. They're looking to fulfill that prophecy of going for a 4-0 reverse sweep here in the grand final. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats.
I am looking at the stats, and I'm seeing a big line of zeros. Thailand, 1 kill away, and that 1 kill came on Mimarks.
And even then, look at your gold. You had so much funneled onto Rush, and even there, the damage shows 37.5%. Mimarks, he tried his best on the side of Thailand, but it just felt like Korea. They've changed up their playstyle. They're going aggressive after finding the picks and taking the objectives.
And it was a shift. It was, we wondered what was that meeting about. I think it was looking at yesterday, where did we lose? And it was that Thailand pressed into the Korean jungle and managed to constantly force their key players like Rush to be under farm. With the swap up, we were very confused by it. Over to a no-mage composition, putting all of your damage hopes on Rush for the ranged attacks, and then having a little bit more tanky pressure throughout the entire map. Korea are looking really, really good.
And this is great adaptation because this is something we saw during the group stage that worried us. Korea, they're a very headstrong team. They like to play what they want to play. Oftentimes, they won't even care about what the enemy is picking. They just want to pick the comp and they'll run through it. Now, after being defeated by Thailand in our winners final, coming back into the grand final, taking game. And look at that game time. That is a key factor for me because Korea, they often want to try and finish out their games between the 10 and 13-minute mark.
I started to introduce it. My game is 7 minutes. If Korea are dominantly in control at the 7-minute mark, they will win the game. If Korea are in a tie game at the 7-minute mark, they will probably lose. And it's an odd calculus to make, but we saw yesterday so many games from Thailand, Korea came so close. And Korea just don't really seem comfortable in the late game when it all becomes about teamfight. They're much more comfortable when they're map control, and their constant clever play around all the towers can be major and change the course of the entire match.
All right, Thailand still have blue side here into game 2. Gonna go ahead, ban out the Omen. Gotta ask, you know, is there gonna be any change-ups here during the draft? I don't feel like he can let go of that teamie.
No,
on the
but
blue side.
If they let go of the teamie, then they let something through, and I don't know that they're comfortable with that. With the first pick, they can keep Lindis. They can hold on to that all-important Lindis, because once again, that's a devastating pick to give to Rush, particularly after that last performance last game. But my theory is, and Thailand, you'd have to be insane to go for this because you're relying on Korea to ban out sensible picks. What if you ban Lindis, pick Valor?
Possibility. It would force Rush onto the Slims because that's oftentimes what he falls back onto. Could maybe pick out the Fennec if he wanted to go for it too, but that usually forces him onto something that's looking to set up plays, not the hyper damage carry we're used to.
And that looks so good for Thailand in my mind because they're finally able to not be constantly taking big hits from the backline.
Well, bans are looking to be the same here, TJ. Is Thailand going to ban out the Omen, Daniel, and the Flash? Meanwhile, for Korea, might as well just be Same here. They haven't banned out the Superman. I'm going to assume that's their plan.
Look at that Aram Grak combo. I really like this from Korea. They're always consistently, regularly banning out control characters versus Thailand. Because, yes, sure, maybe you get the Grak. JJ is a very good Grak player. Nobody is better at utilizing control characters mid-team fight than Thailand.
Final ban coming on through Korea.
Superman's
going
in the
to
field.
Be Lindis.
Superman is in the field, as is Teamy. Thailand can choose one.
Oh, this is Korea playing dirty, it would seem. They say, Thailand, what do you want to give up? You want to give up that Superman? You want to give up that Teamy?
This would be the first time on the stage the Superman has been picked. He has a 100% ban rate, I think.
Yeah, at least in the semis.
In the playoffs,
yeah.
In the group stage, he was played twice and won both those games. It would be insane of Thailand not to first pick Superman.
Thailand gonna go ahead, lock in the Superman. So our first Superman on the World Cup playoff stage. Going to be locked in here for Thailand. Now Korea, they got the option for the Teamy. What else do they want to go for? The Violet?
Teamy, and then you need something to shut down the Superman. You've created a monster, Korea.
But here's the issue now, right now. Yeah, exactly, because Thailand are the ones that banned out the Omen.
Thailand are the ones that just banned out all the control characters, which makes it very difficult to deal with Superman, because the number one way you deal with Superman is you slow him down, stun him up, and they don't have a whole lot to do that with. Yes, you pick Teamy, obviously. What comes next? I guess I'd like to see something high. Let's see. Something that can pressure the backline?
They just want to get
because they banned Lindis.
Exactly.
Because they banned Lindis, they actually screwed themselves. Because they can't actually pick something directly to counter the Superman. Instead, they have to get the Violet.
And then immediately Thailand going to go ahead, pick up the safety of that Chugnar, because now Rush won't have that to soak up the CC.
Yeah, and Chugnar's a pretty decent play into Superman as well, because you have that long-range energy surge with a decent slow on it. They're going to go... Thailand.
Jeez.
This is a good comp.
Already picking up the kill. Now Korea, what do you try and answer here?
Prayers. Like you answer prayers.
This feels like a bluff that got called here by Thailand.
Yeah, Korea was like, you have to pick TV after that last game. And Thailand said, no, I think we'll get Superman, the most powerful character in the game. Yes, please.
Okay, this would be a safety here, TJ. This is a lot of stuns, a lot of engage coming out here from Korea. If they pick in this Alice, too.
So the big thing about Superman, I say the most powerful character in the game. Yes, he does a decent amount of damage. He's very, very powerful in and of his own right. But the number one most harmful thing about Superman is that you need to build your entire team composition and your entire team playstyle around being aware of the Superman. So you need to pick up things that you know can deal with it, and that to me shifts Korea off of their optimal playstyle.
Well, for Korea, gonna go ahead.
Do they have a mage?
They don't have a mage yet, TJ. They're going for the Scud and the Alice. Again, here for Thailand, now looking for their final pick. What do you want to try and round out this comp with? I feel like 007, he could go on something like the Slims to try and force plays.
I want to see Thailand go for a big damage mage to round out this composition, because you have a lot of control in the Superman. You can push people back into big AoE ults like Moonfall.
Yeah, honestly, there isn't a whole lot of dive coming from Korea, to be honest. There isn't a front line yet.
Static Mage, just like I was saying, not quite Crixie. Praetor, though, it operates in much the same way. If you can group up your opponents with the Superman, you can knock them down with a Praetor.
Well, Crixie is still available, but the Praetor is going to be the answer here for Thailand, as that's going to round out their composition for Korea. Still no mage being picked up. It worked in the first game.
Oh, surely not.
No.
Oh, surely not. Not in the grand finals.
It did work once during the group stage, TJ, so it's not out of the question, but I would still question it greatly.
It did work from they're checking out talents. This is going through. Okay. Let me explain the Omega, which is a sentence I didn't think I'd say today. The reason you pick Omega here for Korea is because your one hope is to end this game so quickly the Superman is never relevant. If you can do that, you win before you have to really deal with them. The way you do that is you pick frontline characters that can burn through a tower.
Yes.
Omega with Disrupt would do that.
Do it, son. I want to see this Tara. We've been talking about it all series long, all playoffs, the entire tournament. And we finally get to see it in Game 2 of our grand final.
Okay, I was just adjusting to Omega, but that's good because my gag reflex has reset. Now we have a Tara, and Sun is very good on the Tara, and it also works versus the Superman. Decent mobility, the Colossal Smash will allow her to dive onto the Superman with a slow. Most importantly, though, Sun's Tara, particularly, can build up a ton of HP. It's going to be very hard for even the Superman, until we get to the late game, to burn through it.
We see their coach is going to go ahead, shake hands. Our compositions are locked in for Game 2, Korea. We're able to pick up Game 1, but now the question is this bluff going to come back and hurt them? After letting the Superman through the draft, Thailand now have it at their disposal.
This would be, if Cherry loses on Superman here, this would be the first time we've seen a Superman lose a game in the Arena of Valor World Cup.
And there's a reason why he's 100% pick or ban. Teams are scared of this pick. Just the mobility, the ability to dive in and also still be tanky. Honestly, when we talk about Superman, usually we can check mark almost every role in the game because he can fulfill it. The crowd here is ready for Game 2. TJ, are you?
Yes! I am so ready. Cherry of the Superman, it is your turn to take this team, Thailand, to tie up the set. Korea, if you want to answer, it needs to be either lightning fast, brutally effective in the opponent's the entire game. The only way you make this happen is if you're able to stop that Superman from ever getting far.
Well, trophies on the stage. We're going to go ahead, load on in for Game 2 between Thailand and Korea. Korea with the advantage, 1-0 in the series.
Already, look at how split Thailand are playing across the map. They're taking advantage of the fact that they can push through this top line and really leverage the Superman to zoom across the map and rejoin them should things get dangerous.
And maybe even target Sun immediately. Sun on this Tara, if he is left, like you mentioned, will scale, will become unkillable. And already a successful invade coming out from Thailand. Korea will answer.
Korea just trading jungle so far. Nothing out of the ordinary for an early phase of the game. What is different is the fact that this mage is playing awfully defensively. This is because Kratos is a relatively static mage. He can't really join the attack squad until they know where the Korean team is. The Superman has collected them. Cherry has vision on 3 members. He can play aggro, push the lane a bit, comfortable. There won't be an instant flank on his static, lower HP character.
Usually your plan for the Preta during the lane phase or the early game, you're just looking to clear out minions, look to just farm up that gold so you can slowly look to scale up, or maybe even look for a fight. J-Jack's going to check out the bush there, has to use the shield. He's taken down extremely low. J-Jack going to get stunned. Heal comes on back. Moss still leading this front line. Remix coming on over toward the side. Korea, though, gets to the safety of the tower.
Korea successfully able to back off. That was the one fight without the teaming ultimate. From here on in, Korea will likely have a resurrection, and we saw how powerful that was every single fight last game because so many of Thailand's picks were just instantly shut down.
Saw Cherry down there with the Superman. We'll have to wait and see how much of an impact he can make. Chaser so far doing so well into the matchup.
Remix will be playing carefully because they know they want this Spirit Sentinel. J-Jack's nearby as well. Sun's rotating.
Yeah, you see, though, down onto the map toward that Abyssal Dragon. It's going to be started up here by Korea, already prioritizing the objective. Want to try and get the gold, funneling in onto Rush.
That's odd for Korea. Normally, they're very, very focused on tower control. This is definitely a game plan that is shifted according to the draft phase. Korea want to get their gold out ahead early so that Superman isn't quite so terrifying in the mid-game.
Yeah, there's been a big shift, TJ. Superman is being played in our grand final.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong when I say this was not expected. I am, though, very happy that we will get to see Sun on the Tara. I want to see him become that late-game monster. I know, TJ, we talked about it briefly during yesterday's match, how it can be a little bit out of control, can become unkillable during the late game.
Yeah, we've been hyping up Sun, and I sure hope he gets to show off his Tara build, because it would be silly if he didn't. When he gets to the late game, if this game goes long, you expect to see him easily taking v3s and maybe not winning them with damage, but definitely staying alive throughout them. That's because Tara specializes in regenerative ability. Constantly has the ability to regain HP.
And on top of that, it kind of acts as a safety net here for Korea, because if the game does go long, they will be able to try and answer back with Sun on the split lane. You did see the stats, though, there for the Superman. 100% picker ban has been in every single draft so far during the tournament, though it's starting to get beat around here by Chaser. Is going to keep getting knocked out.
Broke. Sorry. Deep breath. When you're able to play a good Superman, it's all on the resets. If you can constantly get back into flight mode like Cherry just did, you get a little taste of why it's so dangerous to play against in late. You're just pushed around.
Remix has to be careful there. Try to go toe-to-toe with Sun up toward the top side of the map, but has to back off. You see Korea, though, looking to position themselves. Jack actually putting down the ultimate. The fact there actually hasn't been a kill yet this game, TJ, is a little surprising for me.
Korea normally would have pressured the tower by now. They're definitely playing much slower.
I see right now for Remix sitting at a pretty nice KDA stand on the Kilgroth, but he has to perform well here, and he has to go toe-to-toe with Sun. Look at Thailand, though. Looking for this Abyssal Dragon. Moss is just looking to try and scout it out. Korea idea that this is happening. Rush already level 7. The Abyssal Dragon going to be backed off here by Thailand.
Sun and Remix still with their Eternal Duel in the top lane. Sun's going to start burning through damage here if he can get his regen up in time.
Sun,
there it is.
Remix, got to be careful. Gets back underneath the tower, but this is pretty much the story that we're going to see until that Kilgroth gets to the very late game. Still, though, Korea positioning themselves toward this Abyssal Dragon. You see Thailand, they want to try and find something on the map, but they have slowly been losing out on farm. Look at the goal total already from Korea. That's 2,000 without taking a single objective minus the Abyssal Dragon.
This is, dare I say, a very Chinese style of play. Very, very defensive farm for Korea. They want to get their gold up very high before they feel safe taking any of these team fights. And it's not silly, it's very smart considering their opposition.
Chaser gets back down toward this outer tier tower. Look at top side, though. Korea might be looking for a play, trying to dive on toward the top side of the map. Remix has to back off completely, and first tower of game 2 goes to Korea.
Shift now towards the mid lane. Korea got that uncontested and they want more. Thailand will play aggro now, but look at the flag.
Chaser gets onto the backside. Minmarks has to be careful on that Preta. Tries to get some damage back and he gets Rush. He rolled actually into that one in mid lane. Has to be careful with his positioning. Hawk, though, doesn't want to stop there. Wants to go for the play. Gets on top of 007. Korea invading into the jungle.
Cherry hasn't been able to get his build up, but now he's got a flag.
That's going to be being a bro pop there, but it times out. First blood goes to Thailand.
Beautifully done by Thailand to eke their way back into the series. They are still, however, at a gold deficit.
Sun toward that mid lane, trying to bring attention away from the tower. 1 minion stands. Sun has to be careful, has the regen ticking, so we'll be able to get back up toward that top lane. Cherry, be a bit careful there on the super.
Chaser, what are you doing?
Chaser, he's just going to try and go for him, gets him underneath the second tier tower. That's going to allow Chaser to get some damage here onto the bot lane first tier.
Not just some damage, half a HP. Moss and Minmarks need to shut this down.
And that's actually 3 members of Thailand. What does Korea answer for? Chaser's going to fall. Second kill of the game goes to Thailand, but you see Korea position themselves into that mid lane, but they got to make something happen here because they're going to lose this first tier tower in bot.
They're going to push mid during this time. They want to answer back, but Cherry's holding strong.
Of the Superman can hold off a push from 3 members. Also has support. And Thailand now starting to eke their way back into this gold lead of Korea. Also going to go ahead and pick up their first Abyssal Dragon.
In your hubris, Korea, have you accidentally allowed the Superman through and Thailand back into this grand final?
Have to see. Thailand going to go ahead, pick up the Abyssal Dragon. Now the gold within 1,000. Have slowly worked their way back so far. Still a pretty calm game. 7.5 minutes, only 2 kills, but you still see the damage from Minmarks. If Korea is not careful with their positioning, and Sun now is starting to struggle in this matchup.
Yeah, you can see Remix is starting to get his build through, and especially for Remix, if he's able to gain gold and build an anti-heal build, he'll start dominantly winning this fight.
But this is just the confidence of Sun. Pops the regen, goes for the fight underneath the tower. Look toward the bot side of the map, though. Korea grouping up as 4. They want Cherry, they want this bot lane tower.
They say we can't ban you in the draft. How about in game?
Well, instead, fortunately, Korea not going to keep on the pressure. Waiting for this minion wave has given Thailand time to try and react. Flying Spare connects onto Rush. He's stunned up, but there's no follow-up just yet. Mimmark's over toward the side, tries to get some damage, is able to chunk down J-Jack. Korea, though, looking for a disengage. Do they want to try and go for the re-engage? Look at this, Sun now in toward the mid lane. They're trying to pressure the side lanes.
So this has become a game of team fights, and for Korea, it's devastating. They need to this game back to a point where they're able to control the map and farm because of it. As long as we're in team fight territory, Thailand reigns supreme.
Gets caught out by the Flying Spare. Hawk's gonna go down with the Being a Bro activated. Will be able to flicker out of harm's way. But Thailand, that's a big ultimate to get down. Cherry has to be careful, is able to save himself into the ward, the jungle. But look at this, Korea looking to knock down this mid lane tower. Still can't get past Mimmarks, though.
But they're taking more control of the jungle. They're trying to gain control of this Abyssal Dragon, maintain the gold lead they currently so narrowly hold on to on the Korean side.
That's going to be the second tower of the game going in favor for Korea. Still, though, dead even on the gold totals. It's just 2 kills for Thailand, and we're starting to hit close to that 10-minute mark, TJ. It's starting to get concerning for Korea.
I said, are Korea winning at 7 minutes? The answer this time is no, and that makes this a very even game indeed.
Looking for the push here. Rush will knock down that tower mid lane. They got themselves every outer tier tower against Thailand. Sun still on that tower up toward the top side. Remix has to be careful, or is he going to go for
He knows so much.
He sees knowledge. But here's the issue now. Sun's going to go check. Has to be careful. Pops his regen. Has to be back. But Remix taken down so low. And Rush will pick up the first kill for Korea.
Slow and steady now for Korea. This is not their normal play style, but you can see Sun starting to leverage his late game potential.
We see Moss over toward the side is going to run toe-to-toe with J-Jack. 007 is able to take down the tower. Cherry now rejoins on the Superman, and Abyssal Dragon now available for both teams. It looks like Thailand need to be careful here because Korea are looking to pressure back into the jungle.
And they've got a lot of control around this Abyssal. The only thing missing was that Abyssal Dragon. The second they had full control, it was because Thailand were backing up. Now Thailand are back aggressive because they know Abyssal is up for grabs.
Flying Spear's not going to connect. Cherry just dives in onto Korea. Over toward the side. That's actually going to be the Alice ultimate already used by J-Jack, looking to zone back Thailand.
It's a major ultimate to be used this early on, and it means Korea will have to again reset, again play passive. And I feel every time they do this, Thailand gains significant ground. That gold lead is only 2,000.
Still, though, pressure toward this Dragon. Cherry just jumping on top of Hawk. Hawk will be able to push himself back in toward the mid lane. Abyssal Dragon started up once again by Thailand. Really want to try and isolate this objective. J-Jack pops the Alice ultimate. Cherry gets taken down to half health. Is able to escape. Chaser also looking to push back Moss. Still nobody wanting to pull the trigger just yet on a full team fight.
Thailand were ready for that split take the fight and get the Abyssal at the same time. Korea said that we think we can work that out in favor, and as a result, neither team actually felt comfortable, and they both back up. This, though, I do feel favors Korea, because even now, they are slowly and steadily gaining control of the map. You can see they're down to the high ground in top lane.
Moss has to be careful. He's got multiple members of Korea pushing on in. Hawk gets taken down to half health, has to back off. Flying Spear connects onto Rush. That's no DPS coming out. Remix on toward the front line. Sun, though, tanking up the damage, is going to be able to go back up toward that top lane and regen.
Sun is gross. every single team fight, he drops so low, he presses the button, and well, he resets. His ultimate Steel Focus gives him so much HP, and well, it's given Korea enough control of the map to take this Abyssal Dragon.
And finally, after fighting over this Abyssal Dragon for the last 3 minutes, Korea are able to secure themselves almost a 5,000 gold lead. The only issue here, TJ, is I'm not seeing structures being taken with this advantage.
No, Thailand are actually losing, or Thailand are actually gaining map control. At this point, here's the mid lane push.
Yeah, you see Hawks there, down to half health. Moss has to be careful, has to use his ultimate to get rid of the CC. Still see Hawk looking for that front side. 007 gets taken down by Chaser as he dives into Thailand.
Again, Chaser showing up. He was not here versus Thailand yesterday. He has made his mark on the map, and that's given them such better results already.
And you can see already the invade, the pressure coming from Korea with this 3-man unit of J-Jack, Hawk, and Rush. Toward the bot side, though, Korea have now rotated Sun, try and apply pressure to this lane, try and get that second-tier tower, try and draw Thailand away from the mid-half of the map.
And Korea have this, once again, global map pressure. Even if it doesn't gain them structures, this new, slower playstyle will grant them control of the major objectives. If Thailand just want to play it safe and stand behind their towers, they'll lose the ability to see what's happening around this dark slab. That's why they need to keep their push. That's why Cherry's so far forward and potentially vulnerable.
Yeah, Chaser gonna go toe-to-toe with that Superman. Looking to just dive on in. Cherry getting taken down. Look at the rest of Korea. They're looking to shut down the Superman. He's gonna try and bring them on an adventure throughout the map. This is the reason. This is the mobility of the Superman going in between the two towers. But meanwhile, a fight gonna break out. He's gonna sacrifice himself toward the tower. He gets the execution, but that does allow Korea to have the man advantage, and especially if you get rid of that Superman, that is a huge opportunity.
Because that Superman dives to the top tower, they don't get quite as much gold, but the Superman is down for the next few moments. Korea take advantage of this and slowly gain control of the map.
Yeah, Sun having to deal with the remix in this bot lane. Both now have hit level 15. Darkslayer looks to be the priority here for Korea. Still trying to apply pressure toward this top side of the map. The tower will fall. Moss has to back off. This is a bit different for us, TJ. This is a slow style of play on Korea.
Well, it's not fundamentally different because I said Thailand are going to be in trouble, or rather, are going to be in trouble if Thailand can successfully take team fights, because Thailand are the better team fighting team. Korea have not had to take a full-on fight. They keep just winning these skirmishes, out-positioning their opponents, and that's what they do in the 10-minute games, even though they're repeating it here on a smaller scale. It's the same strategy.
Oh, Remix, he's going for this Abyssal Dragon. Has to back off, and Korea will easily pick that one up on the Darkslayer, and now
he's not getting out.
Looking for a fight. Preda just looking to zone back the damage here of Korea. Saw Rush and Hawk take a decent chunk there. Korea still positioning themselves. Look up toward the top lane. Cherry looking to apply pressure. Korea want to go for a fight. Memmark's actually forced to flicker away there.
So if Thailand are able to max level their characters, they'll get to a point where they're comfortable taking team fight again, and I feel that's where Korea will start to struggle. If Thailand go for these full-on 5-on-5 teams, Korea are going to start losing them, so they need to crack the high ground now.
Korea looking to go on in. You see the damage coming out from Rush, focusing only the tower. It's going to survive with a third of its health. Thailand just holding on to dear life of their base, but they lose their final outer tier tower. Now it's just a 3 that remain. 007 gets caught out there. Chaser will find the kill. Memmarks has to be off to the side, but Rush, the correct coming on down. And now the tower gonna be the next target.
A quiet game for Korea, but not for their scoreline. This could be the high ground falling.
Moss trying to do what he can to save this, but the high ground is gonna fall, and in top, and in bot. It's just the core that remains, and Korea, they're able to defeat the undefeatable Superman and take game 2.
Now that is something I haven't seen before. You allow the Superman through the draft. We're all worried about here on the desk. Korea stay cool, calm, collected, take their usual playstyle, slow it down by a factor of 10. say, okay, we'll play characters instead of mid-game activation, we'll look for a late-game activation and slow and steadily maintain control of the map the entire game. I don't think Thailand ever had a gold lead. That meant they were never comfortable taking a full 5-on-5 team fight because they never took a full 5-on-5 team fight. Their team fight never gave them an advantage.
For me, TJ, this looks like a mirror image of what we saw yesterday, but this time Thailand are the ones playing too safe against Korea. And Korea are the ones that are able to slowly pick up a gold lead, take this to the later part of the game. We didn't even get to see Sun on the full Tara build. We didn't get to see the monster that he becomes just yet. And the fact they were able to go toe-to-toe with a Superman, I think it's just so impressive.
Yeah, and this scoreline is deceptive. It says 2-6. It was 2-2 right up until that final bait push. That's the other Korean playstyle. They're either over in 10 minutes, or you get this. 2 kills, dead even, but Korea are slowly and steadily working out the map.
Oh, I would like to join a custom
I
game
would too.
myself. I want to get in on this tournament, guys. But let's go ahead, take a quick look at some of the highlights here where Korea, it was a slow game, and even actually picking up the first couple of kills, but they never got that gold lead.
No, and this was just because Korea, again, they're not playing a dedicated mid laner, and I feel that's freeing them up to control more of the map. We may be observing a major meta shift.
See Korea there, all smiles, feeling confident in Thailand. Now the pressure is starting to seep in. You're down 2 games in the best of 7 to decide who is going to be our World Cup champions. Take a look at your post-game breakdown. Korea up on their side all the way down.
16-minute game time.
And Korea wins.
I specifically set out Thailand are more likely to win the late games. That's normally because once you get to a late game, you guarantee that a decisive team fight will basically end it. That's what Thailand like to do. If you're behind, starve out till the late game, stay safe, don't take any crazy risks, win a late game decisive team fight, win the game. Never got to do that. Korea are so good at finding individual pickoffs, and indeed we saw players like Remix trying to make plays, trying to save their team, going to solo the Abyssal. And Korea had enough map control, had enough map knowledge, they were able to shut it down.
All right, so a little bit of a change up here for the side selection. Thailand would actually have it because they have now lost the game. They're opting to go on to red side.
Interesting. I have yet to see quantifiable the red side is better, because I do think getting that extra ban first pick, as well as forcing the onus onto your opposition to ban out major OP characters like Superman is very important.
Yeah, though, TJ, if you think about it, Korea now doesn't even have to worry about that ban. Close to those objectives, they let Korea push in. They will easily just melt them down. So now for Thailand, what is the solution to the problem? You've now lost 2 games back-to-back in your grand final. You need to start winning games, or else you're going to be forced to the brink of elimination after just game 3.
I hate to say play more defensive, because we saw them play awfully defensive last game and it didn't work. But I'm going to attach a very, very long, convoluted statement to that. Play defensive, yes. Play defensive if you're behind, like you were doing. Don't make silly mistakes, don't get picked off consecutively, but also rotate more. Stay as a group when there's pressure coming through onto your side. Have the map control to know, oh look, there's 3 Koreans rotating up to top lane. We need to start worrying about protecting it, because so many of the kills that happened for Korea last game were the kills where they picked up uncontested individual players.
Well, game 3, pick and ban, now underway. Korea on your blue side, Thailand on the red side, looking to secure themselves some picks here to begin game 3 and try and fight their way back into this grand final series.
This is a best of 7. As a reminder, it's not a BO5, so this game 3 is not an elimination game. And thank God, because it's been a really good set so far, but it does mean that this is going to start running up against the wire for Thailand, so they need to change things now.
Korea banning out the Arum. As always, they seem to... It's shown that J-Jack has not been successful on the pick, so they don't want to even allow Thailand the option. Both coaches taking their notes, deciding what they want to try and get rid of here. Thailand, of course, banning out the Omen, actually on the red side. We usually see that as a blue side ban.
Yeah, but Thailand are just so sure they don't want Chaser on the Omen, and they're right.
Chaser has been able to show up, especially with his flanks on the Scud in the last week so far during these quarterfinals and semifinals. He's been able to show up on stage. Korea banning out the Grak. Meanwhile, Thailand going to ban out the Zenial.
Again, Korea just don't want to let any major control characters through. That's why you ban Aram and Grak in succession, because they're the characters that excel at winning team fights solely based on pulling people around, pushing people in, and I would argue the Flash also falls into that category.
My issue here is, TJ, for Thailand, they put themselves into a very difficult scenario. You either ban the Superman, but if that's the ban, Korea first pick the Lindis.
You're right, Korea are in a great situation, arguably.
Oh,
Lindis goes out to Korea get Superman.
So Korea and Thailand leaving up the Superman. We did talk that these Eastern teams like to, leave up their. They feel confident.
No. We had this discussion. You said, why am I seeing Superman occasionally?
I know,
right.
I know.
The reason is because they play such good Omens and such good Graks that you can reliably shut down a Superman. Both Omen and Grak are banned. They're out. So Superman theoretically should be impossible to kill unless you're Team Korea and you're able to consistently and steadily pressure them out of the jungle and you have no fear of a Superman.
That secret pickup that most teams would love to have in a scenario. Now Korea are saying we can go toe-to-toe with the Superman. The team is there. I've liked the shift of playstyle for Hawk especially. This is Korea adapting, saying, you know what, Rush and Sun on the side lane have to be the ones that take all the pressure, take the gold, and exert it into these team fights. The teamie going to get locked in.
Teamie's so powerful for the team. Thailand making this, or following through on the suggestion I promoted earlier, picking up the Violet specifically to scare Korea over to something they're a little bit less comfortable on.
We saw Rush play it. It's a little bit disgusting, and I feel like if you're going to ban the Lindis, might as well take the Violet, because that's the next pick for Rush. For Thailand, though, do they feel confident enough? I feel like you almost have to take this Superman now that it's for. Unless we're going to see.
Korea, this is such good mind games. They're like, oh, Superman's so important. We're typing it up here on the desk, and then Korea shut you down, and the Superman never gets anything. Do you pick it again?
I don't know, because it felt like Cherry just wasn't impactful. Oh. Wow. Okay, so Thailand saying we're not even going to pick up the Superman right away. Instead, getting the Chugnar, getting the Violet. Does Korea teamie and Superman in this draft? They should. And an Alice. They should. This is a little bit disgusting. You see the claps, Korea, they're already saying, hey, this is pretty much game.
I don't disagree with them. That's a very, 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 very good draft.
The draft evolves. I just don't understand. We saw it yesterday with Chinese Taipei. Were they able to get a superstar lineup? Korea, they took a page out of that and said, hey guys, we want your pick and ban strategy because it's a little OP and we're getting teamie and Superman.
I've said this before, I'll say it again. Korea have the most mind game focused drafts. They consistently seem to be able to get into their opponents' heads and force them to do weird things. And I think this is an example of it, because Thailand are pushed to a situation after that last game where they feel they have no choice but to play their own picks, no choice but to play their own meta. And when they do that, when they end up in a situation where they're just trying to play their own style, then they don't feel comfortable picking up characters like Teamie, like Superman, that aren't normally played by them because they're banned, because they're so powerful. Well, that may lead them to a devastating defeat here in Game 3.
Game 3, Korea up 2-0 in the best of 7 of the grand final of the World Cup. And they somehow secure Teamie and Superman, and now Alice to top it all off.
I bet they run a mage this time.
I feel like they could now. I feel like now it's the option to go ahead and actually run the mage. Thailand, what do they try and answer with? Do they have something in their pockets they have not shown this entire tournament to try and go toe-to-toe?
You're waiting a bit late. If you have a super secret pocket strat,
yeah, you gotta do it now.
This is the deadline, and they're going for Tara, Scud, Sharknard. This will give them a lot of control. Like we said, for Korea, when they opted not to run a mage, they gained a lot of push throughout the entire jungle because they could constantly pressure it. but I don't know that's the right call here.
So Thailand going to go ahead, lock in the Scud and the Tara. Korea, you're playing with my heart, son.
I'm not. Last time I got so excited to like talk through the viability of Omen for 3 minutes.
They put on the talent, and we were both like, I guess it's happening.
It could very well happen, and if Korea have a composition where they could run something silly like an Omen and make it look super viable, and we've seen them do exactly that before. But they're playing with their heart again. They're going to run a mage. Yes, it's going to be Zill, maybe in jungle, maybe in top lane. Those are my two predictions.
Possibility is running punish, so looking to invade after clearing out the waves for Korea. Locking in the Zill, possibly taking their time here. A lot of decision making still on the table. Letting this run out, it would seem. They're taking their time. They're taking their patience, being very patient.
We talked about Korean mind games. Every single draft cycle for them, they've let all the way down. Especially the one where they got Superman Alice. They were just like, we're going to let you stare at this. We're going to let you watch us lock in two of the most powerful characters in the game against you.
For Thailand, the Raz coming out here as the final pick for Thailand here in Game 3. Is that the answer, TJ?
Memarks has run the Raz in the past, specifically into the Grak, because when you are pulled in on the Raz, unlike many other mages, you have the utility and the knockback to survive, to stay safe. Here, I guess you could make an argument that it's a similar situation with how aggressive this composition can play around the Superman, but I don't think it's the best pick. I would have really liked to see them get a little bit more damage, because they've sort of sustained characters now. And I think all their damage needs to come from big flanks from Remix and 007.
Well, the stage is going to be set here for Game 3. Fist bumps all around for Thailand, still in high spirits as they try and look to fight their way back into the series here in Game 3. But they have a tall mountain to climb when you give over a Teamy and a Superman to Korea, who have adapted, have shown they can play against Thailand after being swept against them in the winners final, looking for vengeance, looking for their shot at the $200,000 prize.
World Cup to play for, and Korea have just gotten an exceptionally good draft. Do Thailand have an answer? I guess we'll find out. Remix on the Scud is my player to watch. He's played exceptionally well throughout the evenings. If he can make something happen here, I guess I'm excited for him.
I'm interested to see how Cherry does on the Tara as well. We saw Sun do all right with it. It was able to exert pressure, and that was the key factor with it. Maybe they can use that to try and draw some attention to the side lane. But either way, we're going to go ahead, load on into Game 3 of our grand final. Korea looking to go up 3-0 in the series and look to take Game 4 afterwards to secure the World Cup title. Chaser already going to start off by pushing Moss back, but still no real follow-up at level 1.
By the way, Superman's very good, because what you can do is consistently put people out of position. Consistently, you have more knockback than any other character and more mobility than any other character. Now that Chaser, a very good Superman player, is playing him, watch for him to constantly get behind enemy lines and push them back.
I know the first time that I ever cast with you, TJ, we were talking about Superman. You say you're pretty much forced to not be able to play your character when you're into the 1v1, especially if you don't have any kind of slows or knock up.
If the Superman gets the cooldown cycles going, just constantly knocking you back, you can get in a situation where you're basically infinitely stunned.
We see Korea, a little bit of a late invade after taking the buff away from Thailand. Going to come on back toward their jungle. Rush looking to farm up. Going to be on the slims this time, so going to be looking to help set up plays for Chaser. Either way to the side, going to go ahead and this out. We do see J-Jack might have to be careful here. He's getting pinched on in toward the river.
This is too far.
See him getting caught out here. Thailand looking
stun
for the kill, but the double stun comes out. 007 though on the Violet. Gonna help secure the kill. Kill credit goes on to Moss.
Beautifully done by 007, knowing exactly where it can be to finish off that pick for his team. And Korea, despite a very good draft, are now in a situation where they need to start turning things around, because Thailand's early game is so important. Korea need to stay in control of their jungle. They can't take major team fights while doing it, so it's all about individual pickups, stopping Thailand before they feel comfortable grouping up. The fact that Thailand at any point in this game are ahead means they feel comfortable enough to do this, take major objectives, like the Abyssal Dragon, and take team fights should Korea challenge for them.
Well, Abyssal Dragon, we started up here on toward the side of Korea as they are going to go ahead and pick that one out. Memarks has to be a little bit careful there. Got stunned up. Ends up going back toward Korea. Korea, though, are not able to capitalize. Either way, Abyssal Dragon was secured here by time. Got themselves the first blood. This is a 1,000 gold lead to start off game 3.
Here's the pressure, still aggressive from Thailand.
But they got to be worried about Chaser behind them because look at the play. They're going to go ahead, go directly onto Hawk. Doesn't even have his Being a Bro available. Only level 3. Chaser gets caught out and Thailand pick up 2 kills in the Korean jungle.
Thailand maintaining this aggression, and that's what I meant when I said they've gotten out ahead, so now they're comfortable taking fights. The answer for Korea has to be what Sun's doing. Find pressure elsewhere, earn back the gold lead so you can play your trademark playstyle. The problem is Korea can only do that while ahead.
So now 3 kills for Thailand, starting off game 3 with blood at the 3-minute mark. Already more than what we saw for the first 10 minutes of our second game. Now looking to position themselves. Sun underneath this tower, going to get knocked up. You can see Thailand, they came here to play. Cherry going for the dive. Here comes J-Jack over toward the side, gets the stun on down. That will keep Sun alive.
Very well played by the Kilgroth of Sun. He's so good playing HP regaining characters. Kilgroth, when he pops his Enraged Spear, that's his second ability, gets a ton of lifesteal. And because Sun played that so well, he was getting all that lifesteal while also directly underneath the tower.
Rush over toward the side, taking a decent chunk of damage here. Chaser, though, still down toward that bot lane, going toe-to-toe, but you can see the pressure coming out from Thailand, going for these objectives, playing for the towers early, trying to get pressure up toward top side, though. You still have a bout going out between Sun and Cherry.
Both these characters can absolutely take a long-form fight. That's why Kilgroth versus Tara is so consistently a good battle to watch, because both of them regenerate. Both of them can take very, very steady battles around minion wave.
Abyssal Dragon looking to be started up here by Thailand. This will be their second one of the game. So far, so good, it would seem, here in game 3. Now up 2,500 gold. Moss looking for the invade. J-Jack has to be careful. 007 actually on this Violet has been able to farm up pretty aggressively so far in the game.
Oh,
Chaser caught out on the Superman, and that is the 4th kill going in favor of Thailand.
What do you mean? Superman's not powerful? He's easy to shut down.
It might be a curse, TJ, because both these teams so far not able to find success. You see Sun there actually going on back to steal away from Cherry, who looked for the invade. Nice response there by on the top side of the map, but the gold lead is starting to grow more and more, and the pressure starting to come on through. You see Rush there, Tuck taken down to a quarter of his health. Thailand going for the engage. Hawk is being dragged all over the place. Sure, he'll have the resurrection, but he won't have a place to run either way, as now the mid lane tower also falls. Thailand starting to pick up the pace.
2 kills and the first tower of the game. Thailand are starting to look very good here indeed. Korea don't have the control they normally rely on at all.
Let's see this. This would be the second tower of the game, also going in favor of Thailand. Starting to really open up the bot side of the map. Sure, Korea try with Sun to go up toward the top side, trying to invade. But unfortunately, it would just seem that Thailand have the upper hand here.
Thailand reset. They fall back to their own jungle. During this time, normally Korea are spread out, playing aggressive, gaining control in these little tight squads. Korea here are playing all defensive, all in this jungle.
Hawk wants to go on to that backside. Chaser's able to get behind the team, push them back into Korea, but Thailand, they're still very far ahead at this point, and I don't think you want to be shifting all these carries onto J-Jack.
No, I don't think you do either, but it seems to be working when J-Jack's able to hold these towers consistently. I really The hissy fits have been so powerful in zoning. Yes, Korea are behind, but there's still those nice little touches that remind you they're a very, very lethal team.
And Mark's going to go ahead, come down towards the bot side of the map. You saw that KDA just a little bit earlier, 7.2 so far during the playoffs. Looking to add a little bit more because the tower's going to fall, and Thailand going to go for the fight. Find two members of Korea, and even with the being a bro, that makes it 3 for Thailand.
2 players are resurrected and 2 are sent back to their graves. This high ground tower is going down, and Thailand have the base wide open.
That's a 7-minute high ground tower. This is something we would see Korea, Thailand looking to get themselves back into the series, taking game 3. And TJ, it seems we now have a series on our hands.
It seems we do, Opal. That is the series brought back in favor of Thailand, and I like to see them here on the stage. Yes, last game was good. This game was better. Korea, they get the perfect draft. We didn't see a way they lose.
They were clapping.
No way they lose that game.
If you look at that draft, you look at anything, you'd say that's near impossible. You should not be losing with a Superman, with that teaming, with that Alice.
Look at the goal.
But this is a big thing for me, TJ. You put Rush on a utility support setup. He's not able to carry these fights. In Thailand, they just look to carry forth the game.
Look at the gold. That tells the story of the game for me. Korea always want to be in control. They always want to be in the lead. I think that was a perfect game for Thailand.
I'll have to double check. I'll have to see here when I have an opportunity. But now the question becomes, TJ, I didn't think I would say this, but Superman has 0% win rate in the Grand Finals.
That is accurate. Surprising. Also, Pure has a 100% win rate in the Grand Finals. So,
well, in the finals weekend, not this Grand Finals, but still, the meta is just shifting left and right.
There are statistical oddities around Team Thailand specifically. Both teams feel comfortable shutting down the Superman, and for a character that's been played and banned 100% of the time, we're now in a situation where it is entirely possible that we don't see him again.
That was a perfect game, DJ. In 7 minutes, someone just perfect gamed Korea during the Grand Final.
After Korea took a 3-0 lead.
I'm speechless here.
So am I a little bit, but I'm still managing to talk because that's my job. And I want to talk through specifically the gold again, because when Thailand had that map control, I really liked the fact that they were consistently pressuring through the jungle. It wasn't just, oh, we have map control, let's group up and take a fight. It was, oh, we have map control, let's pressure into the jungle here, take a few minions, take a little bit of control elsewhere, and you end up in a situation where the Koreans actually aren't comfortable with any position on the map. They have to group up in response, and that cuts down all of their control because they now can't farm.
Well, welcome back to the desk, guys. We're going to go ahead. Seems like the players get themselves a small breather as we sit 2-1 in series score. Korea with the advantage, but they did just lose a perfect game to Thailand in game 3. And man, now that begs the question, do you even ban Superman? Do you even pick the Superman?
Like I said, we're now in a reality where we could see a Superman not banned or picked, because both teams have run the Superman and found dismal results with it.
It just gets shut down.
Yeah, and it was always because they had complete control of the map and complete control of the entire gold game. So if the Superman doesn't get any farm, and I think that might just be because you're so reliant on the Superman to win those fights, but both Superman games have been really quick.
And speaking about quick, TJ, our quickest game during the entire tournament just took place on stage.
That was the quickest.
7 minutes, 12 seconds. That is the quickest game in the World Cup.
Thailand get the quickest game of the entire world against Korea. Okay, I think Thailand actually had one of the longer average game times. I don't know if
oh no, I think
stat.
right now, if I take a look here onto Thailand, they sit around an average game time of 15.5 minutes.
That's pretty long. Korea, by contrast, typically end their games in 10 minutes, give or take. So managing to shift that paradigm is, for me, maybe a story of Superman. Korea want to slow down their play, take more control of the team fights with the Superman, and they end up in a situation where they're not closing out the jungle, where they're not closing out their map control.
And you saw that during the pick and ban, the mind games of Korea. I make the question, I don't like Rush when he's being put onto the Slims. I feel like it doesn't help them too much. I feel like their attention gets drawn away. They try and focus a side lane, but their win patterns have been through Rush.
So much of Rush that is good, that is spectacular, is when he's playing that Violet and hovering throughout the jungle. We actually highlighted the play during the draft that Thailand made. They picked up the Violet, meaning with the Lindis ban that they'd already made, that Rush had to play something he was a little bit less comfortable on. And I think forcing him over to the Slims puts him in a situation where he needs follow-up. And that's not what the Korean team really does. Rush is the follow-up. When Rush has to find a stun and then wait for his teammates to come through and find the big kills, they don't have that so much.
All right, now you take a sec. Reset, it's now game 4 for Korea.
Yes.
What do you look at here? Because that is, I don't think Korea has ever experienced this. Like, especially you're on the world stage, and this is how you lose. This is how you drop a game during the grand final series.
Exception, they did experience it yesterday versus Thailand.
But it was very long, and it was a slow death. We didn't have the quickest game of the tournament, DJ.
No, we didn't, but I think it is still a case where the same thing is happening. Korea definitely seemed to lose. I saw Rest on Twitter, I'm going to call him out. He's a player for NA. It seemed like they changed shot callers, and I think that's a very good way of describing it. They became very chaotic, and they stopped communicating so well as to who was doing what on the map. The second that happened, Korea never really had a chance to regain their control and that mystic quality that allows them to close out games so successfully. When Thailand do that to them, do they again sit in that situation where maybe just the pressure gets to them?
Well, let's go ahead and take a quick look back at Game 3 to see exactly how this one panned out for Korea and how Thailand got themselves a perfect game.
Remix, a star for me, because Remix was not really showing up in many games. He was one of my highlighted players coming into the series. Here on Scud, he was responsible for a ton of kills.
You saw him going back and forth there, and Remix too. We haven't even seen like his Lubu, because I know SweetJ has talked about that oftentimes, being one of the best Lubu players in the world. They haven't even brought that out yet.
Well, it's a similar character. Scud and Lubu both kind of fulfill that role of not quite a tank, not quite just an assassin character, but you can play in the middle of the team, dive in, find damage, stay alive a little bit too long, and get out.
Well, now for Thailand, they have themselves an opportunity to tie the grand final series. Go ahead and try and force this into a best-of-3 scenario, where now it's going to be the next 2 games that take the series. It's been an interesting one. I'm excited, though. I was, you know what, Korea, they had that interview before, and they said, 4-0, that is our plan.
No longer... Now, but I believed them. I was all on board the Korean hype train because of how clever their game plans have been, and I think that was no exception up till that final game where Thailand called their bluff again, said you're playing all these fancy games with the draft to force us off of our meta. What if we just ignore you? What if we just want to play how we want to play, let you get all the fancy picks you like, and still win?
Pretty much take the play style that's worked for Korea during the group stage, during the knockout, where they just played what they want. They just go ahead, play their game plan, and then execute it pretty much flawlessly, and we saw that in Game 3.
Well, we did have a brief break when the Thailand players were standing up, using the restroom, that type of thing. They're sitting right back down now, and we're about to get into the draft.
Man, you can see that beautiful trophy, TJ. I know you're a huge fan of that one. It's so gold.
They wheeled out the trophy, and instantly the glare in the stands increased by like 20% because it's so shiny.
Well, I've been seeing them. They've been polishing that one up pretty good. Thailand going to go ahead, reset themselves. Feeling pretty confident now that they have secured a game underneath their belt. Still down 2-1 in the grand final. Now looking to try and tie up this series and keep it going all the way. Korea going to start things off, of course, with the RM ban.
Arum, a consistent feature of these bans for Korea. They've consistently banned out both Arum and Grak, as well as the Flash coming through. I think the Flash is a flexible one. That's just, oh, we saw that earlier today and it looked deadly, so maybe don't let that through for me marks. But I expect Arum and Grak to be consistent because Thailand are so good on these control CC compositions for team fights.
Thailand going to be banning out the Omen. Still interested to see whether or not we're going to have a Superman being picked up here, or if it's even.
I think Superman falls through the draft.
You don't even think it'll show up?
I think Superman falls through the draft entirely, which is a sentence that I shouldn't be saying.
Especially when we came here expecting, this would be the do or die pick for a lot of these teams. If they were able to secure it, usually it was just, 100% win rate.
Coming into this finals, a 100% win rate.
For Korea, banning out the Grak. Thailand going to be banning out the Zenyo. Korea now is going to be their final option. Do they want to try and get rid of the Flash like they have in the last couple of drafts? Taking a little bit away from Hawk, but mainly focusing against mid-marks. They want to try something different.
So you ban out the Zennial for two reasons here. Primarily, very, very good on Sun. It plays perfectly into the Korean split push map control style because you can go on huge, long and then rejoin the team with Angelic Splendor. Secondarily, because you banned out the Omen, and Omen is the best counter in that side lane to Zennial, so you need to ban out both if you ban out one.
All right, here from Korea, banning out the Teeny here on the blue side.
Daring Thailand, what will you do? Superman still up.
Thailand, what is going to be their option? You can even see, though, on Korea, a little bit of worry, it would seem, coming out after that last game, and I don't blame them. A lot of focus here during this pick and ban, taking their time, getting set up for Game 4.
They looked borderline jubilant going into that Game 3. Going to Game 4, it is an entirely different team. Thailand would still rather face a Superman than face a Lindis.
Yep, the Lindis is going to be banned out here by Thailand. For Korea, do you pick up the Superman or do you try and get Rush the Violet? Because that was what happened in our last game. Rush was forced off the Violet.
Like I said, I think Superman falls through the draft.
We'll have to see here from Korea. Still 30 seconds on to their first pick, taking the time to figure it out. As you've noticed, there's actually two members on the stage. One translator actually for their coach because they come from China here. They tried to adapt that play style.
Ooh.
Okay, the Flash wasn't banned out, so this would be, that is a gutsy first pick.
Okay. Good on Hawk. Korea plays a good Flash. But this does leave an obvious pickup of the Violet. And yes, it will come through.
Okay, I was about to say.
My heart stops.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Like, do you know what you're going to cause in my solo here?
So Violet and Chugdar getting picked up here by Thailand. Now for Korea, what do they want to try and answer? They've kind of lost off the two primary picks for Rush. Do we see something new maybe coming out?
Well, I think they have an opportunity to pick up a really good side lane that would really benefit their playstyle, which relies so much on side lane control. He's called Superman, and he's still in the draft.
But do you trust it?
I think they're scarred. I don't think they'll do it, no.
After seeing both teams lose on it, it shows that they both have answers. They know where to put the focus. They know how to shut it down. Instead, opting for that Scud, possibly.
Scud would certainly be a powerful pickup, particularly on Chaser, who has looked so good on it. I could also see an Irie coming through here to complement the Scud. I'd like to see them, though, start building for a little bit more HP. Maybe go for what I've described multiple times as a home base composition. You get the Alice here, and then you use that Hissy Fit as a place you can play behind. Push forward, retreat behind it. Instead,
wow,
Korea go for the Tara.
Tara going to get locked in once again for Sun. And still no sign of this Superman. Now for Thailand, might as well go ahead and look to possibly pick up that Superman if they want. Maybe go for a mage for Miamarks. What are their options here?
I want to see them pick up a good mage for Miamarks, but you can do it relatively late in the draft because Korea have already first picked a mage. So instead, prioritize your split lane. Yes, get this Kilgroth. Maybe find a little bit more HP to protect 007 on that Violet with.
Kilgroth covered here by Thailand, still taking their time. Remix had a pretty good showing on it in the last game. Still, though, for Korea, have their two side lanes already picked up, but that's good. And Tara still deciding exactly what they want to go for. Would nice to be picking up a front line here. The Moloch actually hasn't been shown here yet. Instead, opting in for the Arduin.
Yeah, okay. Arduin or Malik both kind of fill the same role. I actually prefer the Malik, but the difference is minor. You play them in the side lane, they have a lot of HP, they fulfill both of the objectives. Setting forward, they match both criteria.
Now for Korea, possibly looking at the Slims once again.
This would be fun. A melee jungle would be interesting, because they've hovered two so far, and both of them are melee.
Wow.
Nakaroth coming through. Superman, does he? Yes,
he does. Oh my goodness, we don't have a Superman in our draft during the grand final.
Ha! Memarks will come out as the mage over on Raz. We said that he likes playing that into control-focused compositions. It's got a little bit more survivability than many mages. I think that's still a viable concern given the dive that can be offered by a flash as well as the Nakaroth.
Now looking here, TJ, what is the overall game plan here for Korea, especially when you're running the Nakaroth?
High mobility, pressure all the sides at once, wheel that through to take a major fight, keep a squad going, maybe Flash, Alice, and I would say Chaser, if I had to make the call. You can put Rush in there as well, and have that squad pressure side lanes, pick up individual fights, don't go for a full team fight. During that time, your other two players, probably Rush and Sun, are pressing the enemy jungle, using those double punishes to constantly steal smaller camps, constantly gain knowledge of what your opponent is doing. That is Korea's win condition. However, Thailand have shown themselves to be excellent at grouping up early, forcing Korea to take these team fights and, well, winning them dominantly.
Well, we're going to go ahead, load on in for Game 4 between Korea and Thailand. Thailand looking to tie up the series to 2 games apiece and look to try and extend this best of 7. Though for Korea, they're looking to answer back after being taken down in a perfect 7-minute game, the shortest game of the entire tournament against Korea with a win. I don't think I would ever say that, TJ.
I didn't expect it either. Here we go. The tie game potentially for Thailand, but they need to start this now, and they need to start by securing an early lead, keeping Korea defensive.
Starting things off, looks like Thailand going to go ahead, opt in toward the bot side of the map. Going to go see Rush and Sun. So actually, Korea wanting to play a little bit more defensively, might be looking for the kill though onto 007. If he can't scale early, he won't be able to do anything, and that's going to be the kill going on to J-Jack.
I feel like that might have been the mic column. That was really close.
You saw there 007 already falling in Korea. Pick up first blood. Can't be perfect game here in Game 4. A nice start.
Very good for Korea also because it gives them that early lead. Talking about whenever they feel confident roaming and taking isolated fights, that's very important. Watch who gets the killing blow.
Oh,
totally was.
Yeah, but look again, there's going to be a killing kill, and that one's going to be on Hawk. So now 2 kills here for Korea.
This was the playstyle I was outlining. Group early, find isolated players with that roaming squad while your side lanes continually push and jungle.
Rush going to go ahead and clear out the Sage Golem. Still 4 members toward the top side of the map for Korea. You got the Alice looking to scout out where 007 is. Maybe set up a trap toward that mid lane. Moss going to roam on over, just try and clear out, apply a little bit of pressure to help out Memarks. 007 going to show himself in mid lane, and actually the knockup follow on through for Hawk, but he is a Flash. He can get out of there pretty easily.
The thing with Flash, and we've seen it a couple times, is if you overstay your welcome, even for a moment, it's a team with control abilities. They can burn you down, particularly if this Violet gets built.
Double stun landed there by J-Jack, but Thailand have 4 members around this Abyssal Dragon, so it'll be a nice start here. Sun is over toward the side, could go for the steal. Rush just jumps on in. Korea, though, here comes the knockback, and Thailand answer immediately.
Thailand find Dragon and 2 kills. Sun and Rush were the 2 players with punish, and they both used them during the dive, but were not able to pick up the Dragon because Thailand instantly focused on killing the invaders.
For me now, the question is, was that a play Korea had to go for? Because they just kind of gave up the 2 kills they got early, gave up an Abyssal Dragon, also now giving up a lot of pressure toward the bot side of the map because you can see that tower slowly going down, a dive coming on through, and Korea are falling left and right, TJ.
Sun still has pressure forward. Moss is dangerous low, but he's got
Sun can't get the kill. You got Hawk flickering on in with the flash. Cyclone comes back down. They're going to trade 3 for 2 in favor of Thailand.
Memarks very nearly shut down Hawk for his insolence. The super speed is easy to read. If you know where he's set out from, or even you can see the trajectory of his path, you just wait. And even the Cyclone, you know the timing. You can put a power surge right where it ends. Good mechanics, but easy play for Memarks.
Now a 1,500 gold lead to start things off for and kills are tied 4-4, but that Abyssal Dragon and the pressure onto that bot lane tower, and that's a little bit dangerous here for Korea because they already can't play safe, it would seem, because Thailand are willing to go for the dives.
Thailand are playing very aggressive, specifically to maintain a lead. Right now they have a small gold lead. Oh, yeah, he is, but he's Sun, so he's all right with that. The thing is, though, Korea don't feel comfortable going for full-on team fights. Instead, they're making the right call. Still finding pressure for these isolated groups, but it's hard.
Still looking for the picks, but guess what? 007 already knocking on toward this tower. First tower of Game 4 goes in favor of Thailand. Rush looking to rotate back up toward the top side of the map, but you see the pressure from Thailand. Sun is looking to take them on a trip, but he's only level 5 here, TJ.
Yeah, and you can see how that's hurting him because he doesn't have that regen, and he's going to be very easy to punish if it weren't for these slick moves.
Get himself over the wall. Looks like Cherry and 007. They don't even care. You might as well go for the Abyssal Dragon.
Sure, Sun. Be happy with your escape. We've got the Abyssal Dragon. We're building a bank, and it's franchising.
So look at that. Now extending their goal total to 2,100. Before the 5-minute mark, Thailand are the ones playing aggressive. Let's see, up toward the top side the map. Korea looking to cut out the wave, maybe looking to go for a play onto Remix, but guess what? Down in bot lane, Thailand are looking just to kill Sun. Once again is able to get out of trouble, but there's a minion still left, and they could go ahead, take this second-tier tower. Hawk tries to come on back. He's able to save the tower. Can he get anything else, though? He won't, but the rest of Korea now rotating on over. Rush is down there, wanting to get off, but 007 has nowhere to run, and he will fall as is able to pick himself the kill for Korea.
We talked about that ban consistently on the flash. Hawk, for the first time this set, gets him and proves him to be very powerful indeed. He's just got such good positioning around the geometry of the map. He seems to constantly be able to get in, do damage, and slide out in an unexpected direction.
So nice response there from Korea, understanding that Thailand were going a little too aggressive in that bot lane, even though they are almost able to take that second-tier tower. Thailand, though, gonna go ahead, reset, start arming themselves, possibly looking for a top lane here, as you see the Arduin starting to come down the top side lane.
Korea have made this game close again, but they don't win close games. When Korea are in control of a game, it is dominant in their favor, and the fact that it's means that their playstyle of avoiding these team fights until they can guarantee that victory in them is going to start being hard to execute.
Oh, Memarks going down extremely low, goes for the flicker, Cyclone, and Hawk is able to draw him back on in. 007, he's got nowhere to run, is able to get underneath the tower, but meanwhile, Sun dove in the top lane. Thailand are able to get a tower. Now Cherry rotates on over. Remix is also there. Rush has to try and get himself out of the pit. Should be able to. Starting to get a little bit low. I believe he'll be fine, though.
It's a little bit fun because when you force them to take the fight near the Dark Slayer, you have the chance of that CC saving your life. Just a little fun time for staying alive in a tight chase.
Korea Going for that invade, looking to back off, but they now have lost their second tower of the game up on the top side of the map. The only one that's remaining here in mid lane. Starting to get chunked out a little bit low. Just needs one good push, and Thailand can then really open up this map.
Thailand, I think, already kind of have really opened up this map. This is the only tier 1 tower remaining. Hawk is the only person who's been finding these fights for Korea, and he's been doing it largely solo. Yes, he's definitely had Rush running interference. I think it's important to mention that so many of the other players we look for are not delivering yet.
The big thing for me, TJ, though, is this Abyssal Dragon control coming out from Thailand. That's going to be the third one of the game. Korea trying to answer back, try and catch out. Remix seems to be the plan. Rush and going on forward. Sun's also there, and Korea will be able to pick up the kill.
That's what they need to do on Korea. You want to edge your way back into this game, you do so with small kills, isolated picks on lone players. Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got an Arjuin going on down to that bot lane. Chaser's going to try and stop what he can. Hawk is also there. 3 members of Korea coming on over. They find themselves a kill. Guess what? Thailand, they could get some pressure here on toward that mid lane tower. Just waiting in the brush. 007, he's got some reflexes on that Violet.
That was insane.
Rush also coming on over, looking to have some fun, but decides to back off. 007 with the fancy footwork.
That was, I don't want to believe that was reflexes because it makes me feel bad about myself, but very quick.
Well, Hawk has to be careful. Actually forced to use the Cyclone defensively, trying to get underneath this tower. Memark's not able to pick up the kill, but the tower will fall. Now Thailand with 4 towers underneath their belt here in Game 4.
Korea are stuck playing a losing game of whack-a-mole here because Thailand are constantly pressuring with just enough players on all of their towers. And it's interesting because this is normally what Korea look like when they're in control of a game, and very well lead to a similar game time, but in favor.
Wow. All right, Dark Slayer
Chaser has the call.
Going to be started here by Thailand. Chaser knows this is happening. Doesn't have a whole lot he can do. Rush comes on in. He steals away the Dark Slayer. 7 will